All right, Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling on the scriptures. Citations to Yakim across the world, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. And there's just going to be a quick lesson. All right, now that the truth is out on the forefront, basically like the prophecy said it would be. Okay, so now you have so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans actually waking up to the fact that they're Israelites in these last days. Because what? In Isaiah the 55th chapter, the Lord, Yahweh, says that anything that he has prescribed to happen, all right, throughout his movie is going to happen. And a part of that is us coming back to this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of who we are and who our power is. All right, we are the nation, the only nation on this earth that has a living power, a living God. All right. And as we go deeper into the latter days, this knowledge and wisdom is going to increase. This truth is going to increase, and it's going to be it's going to be in abundance across the earth. Why? Because this is the Lord pouring back his spirit onto the earth through his men and through his people waking up. Okay? So I'm gonna get a couple scriptures, and Lord will let us edifying. This is Ezekiel chapter 47, verse 1. I'm gonna start at the first verse. All right, and this is a vision that that Ezekiel was seeing. All right, that he was made to see. All right, and it's symbolic, and it's showing you spiritually, all right, how this truth would be in abundance in the last days, and how it will be poured upon the dry bones. And we know, according to Ezekiel 37, that the dry bones is the house of Israel here in the latter days, without their knowledge and wisdom and understanding and truth of who they are and who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is. But now Ezekiel is seeing here in the 47th chapter, all right, the abundance of this truth increase and increase and increase, all right, in his men. Okay, the understanding increase in his men, the understanding increase on the earth, and the symbolism for it is water here. Ezekiel 47:1. Afterwards, he brought me again unto the door of the house, and behold, waters issued out from under the threshold of the house eastward. For the forefront of the house stood toward the east, and the waters came down from the right side of the house at the south side of the altar. So this water is this truth. All right, and it's beginning. The Lord is turning. Symbolically, the Lord is turning the faucet on of this spiritual water, which is the truth. And this water is going to eventually flood the earth. Okay, verse 2. Then brought he me out of the way of the gate northward, and led me about the way without unto the utter gate by the way that looketh eastward. And behold, there ran out waters on the right side. So this water is this truth, and this is the living waters are spoken of in the New Testament, man. Okay, the living waters is this truth. All right, and as this increases, all right, the Lord is going to draw nearer and nearer to the earth. That's why you're seeing the chariots more often. All right, they're seeing the chariots over in Iran. They're trying to battle them. And, apparently they took that video down off of a lot of brothers' channels because, why? This truth, this water is beginning to pour in. The Lord is pouring this truth and understanding back onto the earth slowly but surely, man. All right. Verse 3. And when the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits, and he brought me through the waters. And that's what we are. We're coming through the waters. We're coming in through this truth. All right. This truth is actually going to overflow this reality. We are basically, I like to say all the time, we are a break or a breach in this reality, and through that breach is coming in this water, which is this true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and who you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are. Why? Because Esau, a so-called self-proclaimed white man, they have thought that they control this reality. All right, and it tells you, and I believe it's in Daniel's, that Yahweh ruleth in the kingdom of men, man. All right, so they forgot that there was a power. That's why we've been set forth as a vibration or as a breach, all right, for the water to pour in, and that's what we're reading here. All right, because the water is symbolic for the truth. All right, Ezekiel 47:3. And when the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits. he measured 1,000 cubits, and he brought me through the waters. Excuse me. And when the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits, and he brought me through the waters. The waters were to the ankles, and that's where we're heading. We're heading towards more and more of this truth being pushed out. Okay, and it's going to ultimately turn into an ocean and a flood upon the earth, and that's going to be by way of Yahweh Shai coming with the angels, and that's when the world is really going to see that this truth was no joke, and that's the pinnacle. Okay, the pinnacle is Yahweh Shai coming and ruling. Ezekiel 47, and gathering his elect, of course. Ezekiel 47 and 4, again he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters. The waters were to the knees. See, so this truth is going to continue to increase. All right, there's no decrease in this truth, man. And this is spiritually what Ezekiel was seeing, and this water is being poured on the dry bones, and it's hydrating our people again, man. Okay. Just to show you that this water is the word. All right, let's get John. It's the book of John 7. Book of John, chapter 7, verse 38. It says, I'm going to start at 37. It says, in the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink, because Yahushua brought the living waters, which is the truth. He brought the true understanding of how we're supposed to worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right, and he taught it to his disciples and was trying to teach it to Israel, but Israel denied him. The 2/3, that is. And that's what we're experiencing as we bring out this water. And as it rises more and more and more, according to Ezekiel, the 47th chapter, there's going to be more and more casualties of this water. So a lot of people are not going to get it, and a lot of people are going to get it. Okay, that's just how it's going to go. Verse 38, he that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. And what is that? This truth. Okay, so that's what we're seeing be described in Ezekiel, the 47th chapter here. All right, let's go back to Ezekiel 47 and 4. Again, he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters. The waters were to the knees. Again, he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters. The waters brought me through. The waters were to the loins. So this is symbolic for this truth. This truth is going to just increase. All right, there's not going to be no diminishing of this truth ever again, man. This is it. All right, what this truth is the ushering in of a new world. Okay. Whether the elites like it or not, because we're actually teaching the truth according to this reality, and we're filtering it. And what's happening to our people? They're the people that the Lord wants. They're getting drenched, all right, with this water, and it's coming up to their ankles. It's coming up to their knees. All right, brothers are learning more. We're getting more edified. We're getting more seasoned, because this truth is flooding the earth, man. Verse 5, after he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not pass over. For the waters were risen, waters to swim in, a river that could not be passed over. And he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen this? Then he brought me and caused me to return to the brink of the river. And that's what we're currently in. We're living in this time where this truth is increasing. All right. First it was up to the ankles. All right. Then it was up to the knees. As the years went past, more and more men came into Great Millstone, into the understanding. All right, more and more limelight has been put on the truth. All right, then it was up to the knees, and it was up to the loins. That's symbolic for the increase of this truth unto the planet, man. Okay, this is verse 6. It says that he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen this? Then he brought me and caused me to return to the brink of the river. Now when I had returned, behold, at the bank of the river were many trees on the one side and the other. Then said he unto me, these waters issued out toward the east country and go down into the desert. And what is that desert symbolic for? All right, the area where you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are without your heritage and without this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, and we can let's go to Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 37 and 1, the hand of Yahweh was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones. and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, they were very dry. They were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And that's this desert spoken of in Ezekiel the 47th chapter. Now we know this desert and this dry valley is symbolic for Israel. In these latter days, all right, before they understood the truth, now it's an abundance of this water, all right, and now a lot of our people are moisturized, but it's just going to increase and turn into that lake, all right, that Ezekiel stood at the bank of. Verse 3, and he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, and O Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. That's the water increasing. All right, because we read in John 7:38 that this word is likened to living waters, and that living waters is increasing, all right, on the earth, which is this truth increasing on the earth, according to Ezekiel 47. Verse 5, it says, Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And that's him drenching us with this water, soaking us with this water, first bringing it up to our ankles, then up to our knees, all right, then up to our loins, and then ultimately we're going to be overflowing, all right, with this oil and this water, like King David said, all right, and this is going to be an abundance on the earth. That's what this truth is going to do eventually, man. All right, let's go back to Ezekiel 47. Ezekiel 47 and 7. Now when I had returned, behold, at the bank of the river were many trees on the one side and on the other. Then said he unto me, These waters issue out toward the east country, and go into the desert, to go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the water shall be healed. And it shall come to pass that everything that liveth, which moveth, whithersoever the river shall come, shall live. And that's this truth. Now we're living according to, what did it just say in Ezekiel the 37th chapter? Can these bones live? All right, and the Lord poured this water upon us, and they lived, and that's what's happening. And it's the same thing that he's saying that would happen when this water and this word and this truth spreads across the planet, man. In these times, Ezekiel's seeing a vision of these times we're living in now. Ezekiel 47, and it's symbolic. Ezekiel 47, and only if you're spiritual, you'll understand it. Then said he unto me, These waters issue out toward the east country, and go down into the desert, and go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the water shall be healed. And it shall come to pass that everything that liveth, which moveth, whithersoever the river shall come, shall live. And there shall be a great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come thither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live whither the river cometh. And it shall come to pass that the fishers shall stand upon it from Engedi even unto England. They shall be a place to spread forth nets. Their fish shall be according to their kind, as the fish of the great sea, exceeding many. And that's what's happening, man. This truth is growing, all right, and it's not going to stop, man. This is Isaiah. Let me get this real quick. This is Isaiah 35 and 7 and 6. And then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in the desert. That's this truth. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water. In the habitation of dragons, where each lay, shall be grass with reeds and rushes. All right, so that's what we're seeing, man. We're seeing this truth break out in the desert, which is that valley of dry bones. The desert is likened unto a place where our people would not know who they were in the latter days, which is Babylon the Great, America, man. But this truth is springing forth. All right, this is Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 107. Psalms 107 and let's see here, 30, 35, 34. It says, a fruitful land into barrenness for the wickedness of them that dwell therein. Verse 35, he turneth the wilderness into a standing water, and dry ground into water springs. And that's what we're seeing this truth do. All right, the truth is likened unto water, man. All right, especially in these scriptures that I'm reading, man. So now you can kind of get a picture of spiritually what's happening and taking place in this reality according to prophecy. All right. This is John. Actually, let me get this. This is Isaiah chapter 12. Bear with me one second. Isaiah chapter 12, verse 3. Verse 2, behold, Yahweh is my salvation, and I will trust and not be afraid, for Yahweh is my strength and my song. He also has become my salvation. How? Because we understand who he is and what he's doing now in this time. Verse 3, therefore, now we have a better understanding of his reality because these waters, man, because it's true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Therefore, joy shall ye draw water out of the wells of salvation. The water is this truth. You see? And in that day, which is the latter years, the end times, which we're living in that day, shall ye praise Yahweh. Call upon his name, declare his doings among the people, make mention that his name is exalted. And that's what we're doing out on the highways and byways. That's why this truth, which is the water, is spreading. It's coming up to the ankles, to the knees, to your loins, to your chest, and it's going to go above your head. All right, this water is going to basically dominate and take over the earth, man, and flood the earth. All right, this is Isaiah 44 and 1. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith Yahweh that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. Verse 3, for I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, this truth, and floods upon the dry ground, and I will pour my spirit upon thy seed and my blessing upon thine offspring. And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. All right. We're springing up on the highways and byways teaching this truth, the true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus. That's what we're doing, and this truth is flooding the earth. All right, and we haven't seen nothing yet. This is the beginning, man. Okay? Now you can go out into the world and ask some of our people randomly if they heard they're Israelite, and they'll tell you, yeah, I've heard it, man. And it's just going to the water is just going to get deeper and deeper from there. And that's this truth being pushed out. And as the water gets deeper, the truth is going to get deeper on his men, man. More understanding, more faith, more wisdom, all right? More knowledge, more understanding. Why? Because this water is going to increase and increase and increase. And it's going to increase in his men as well, man. All right, let me get this. I'm going to close it out here and you'll see what I'm talking about. If you're spiritual, you can spiritually see this. John chapter 4. Let's see here. Bear with me one second. Start at chapter 9. Or verse 9, excuse me. John 4:9. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Yahushua answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of the Most High, and who it is that saith to thee, give me drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given the living water. That's truth. The woman saith unto him, sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Yahushua answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. He was talking about the physical water, all right, the carnal water, all right, which has fluoride and all types of other bacteria and things in this society. It's not talking about that water. It's talking about this truth, which is likened unto water. All right, it's going to say it here. Verse 14. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. That's the spiritual water, this truth. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up. What do we read in Ezekiel 47? First it was at the ankles. First it was at the chest. Or then it was at the knees. Then it was at the chest. Then it was above the head. What is that doing? It's springing up. And it's also springing up on the earth. Because it's a flood, man. It's the flood of this truth. Verse 14, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. And ultimately, that's what this word and this truth is going to culminate into, man. All right, that's why we seen and read the symbolism. All right, speaking of the water being up to the ankles, then up to the knees, then up to the chest, then up to the head. All right, that's the same water that is going to lead our people, the 1/3 and the 144,000 into the kingdom, man. It's going to lead them right into Yahushua. Yahushua is going to come into this reality because now what's being taught, this truth, and it's springing up into everlasting life in his men on the earth, all right, etc., man. All right, so Lord willing, that was edifying. It was just something quick. Call Lawyum Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakudash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well in the scriptures. Salutations to you, Akim, across the world, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. Shalom and a Bible ball.